Hey everybody, happy Tuesday training. Boom, Tuesday training. Who doesn't love some Tuesday training? That's right. Welcome to Tuesday training. So today the topic is all about how to do online parties. So this is kind of a big topic, and it includes a whole lot of different paths that we can go down. So I could sit here and talk for probably 2 hours at least about online parties and how to do them and different ways to do them. So I'm not going to bore you with all of that because we can always do more trainings later. Today is truly going to be like my best tips for having those successful parties and to be able to give you those resources of where you can go to then do some digging on your own. Because like I always say, this business, there is not just one way to do it. There are 101,001 ways to work your Scentsy business. And just like with an online party, there's not just one way to do it. So you kind of find your rhythm. And I think we talked about this last week too, you really just have to trial and error. You know, I'll tell you that I've had tons of online parties over the years, and I've had some that have completely flopped. I've had some that have completely ripped the roof off, right? Like over 500 in sales. And it's like, oh, what did I do differently, right? And sometimes I can point it out. Other times there's no rhyme or reason. So don't take it personally, right? Just like we ask somebody if they want to host or maybe join your team and they say no, you know what? That's okay. You move on, right? You move on to the next person. You just keep asking, you just keep doing the parties. And at some point you're gonna find a rhythm, or at some point you're gonna find a way to do these parties that is going to grab attention, or that the people that you're inviting are just like, oh, I'm totally in. I love this concept. I love what you're doing, right? And it's gonna go fantastic. So you just have to trial and error it out. So don't think that if you have a party and it bombs or nothing happens, that means that it doesn't work for you. That just means try again and try a different way, and reach out if you need to in our group, in the main Scented Bliss group. And of course, I did put in the event posting in the team page here a link to the online, what is it called? I want to make sure I get the name right. Online virtual parties, and then in parentheses, independent Scentsy consultants only. So I did put the link to that group. That is a group that was founded by Edie Ann Pelter. It was Edie Ann's last, it's Edie Ann. Okay, Edie Ann has been fantastic over the years. She is a superstar director. She has really had great success over the years with building her business online, and online parties has been huge for that. One of my friends that I like to be able to call my friend is Kimberly Pulito. She is also she's a director under Edie Ann, and of course Kimberly is on that group as well. And if you guys know anything about Kimberly, you know that she is wholeheartedly willing to share what is working for her, and she's also had great success with online parties. So that's why I really wanted to point out that group, because it truly is an amazing resource. And again, you're gonna go, when you do, if you're not already in that group, when you go into that group and start just looking through the posts or the albums and such, you're gonna see again, there's 1,001 different ways to do an online party. And you're gonna be able to network. And guys, I can't express it enough. Networking and finding and building relationship with other consultants that are just like us, right? That are invested in wanting to work our business, grow our business, make it better, have better parties, right? Build teams. All of these people that you're going to begin meeting in groups such as this, because this is a really fantastic group. It's very positive. I know there's a lot out there that we kind of have to weed through. There are some very negative groups out there. So don't, if it starts feeling negative to you, Seriously, bless and release. There's an unfollow button, there is an or leave the group button, right? Just get out. Get out. Don't let it suck you in. I've been there myself, and trust me, once you go down the rabbit hole, it's hard to climb back out. So you just want to make sure you don't go down that rabbit hole. Jolene asked, what's the name of the group again? So it is in the event. I did tag it, so you should be able to, I know you may not be able to do it while we're in this, but after this, you can go in there. It is there. It is called Online Virtual Parties. And then in parentheses, it says Independent Scentsy Consultants Only. So you can just ask to join that club, or join the club, join the group. Facebook went away from the concept of just adding people because they found that, somehow or another you'd get added to a group and you're like, where did this group come from? Why am I invited to this group? So Facebook did away with that feature. You can invite people, but I don't like to just invite everybody because it may not be something that everybody wants. So that's why I did post the link. So after this, you can go back into the event post itself and be able to see it there if you can't find it. And also just holler at me if you can't find it. I can send you the link as well that way too. All right, so like I said, I'm not going to go into too deep of those ideas simply because you guys, we don't have to reinvent the wheel. That's the magic of it all. So my best tips when it comes to online parties is truly treating them just like I would any other party. That's my biggest key with doing an online party, because for a while when I first started doing them, I was like, oh, it's online, so everything is online. Well, not necessarily, right? Not necessarily. So I started incorporating parts of taking, like, if I was doing either again, you guys know, I think by now, the majority of my business is done long distance, right? So, I've got local customers, but I have more out-of-state customers than I do local. So a lot of my business is done, mailing things and sending parties. So when I do a party, normally it's mailing it out, right? So I started taking some concepts of that and taking the host coaching, because we still want to do host coaching, whether we're doing an online party, an in-person party, a sip and sniff, whatever party you're doing, you still need to incorporate your host coaching, because the key in any party, however you party, is truly getting the host to be invested. Now, whether that host is you, because you can also do your own online party, right? You can be your own host. You can be your own host at your own home. You can be your own host in any type of a party, right? But when it comes to someone else who is the host, we really want to make sure that they are invested. So keeping them excited, getting them excited, keeping them excited, getting them engaged, helping them create a wish list of things that they want, right? Because what happens at the end of a party, when you get to the minimum of a party, that 200 minimum, that's when the host rewards kick in. So those 50%, the half price off kicks in, the free product credit kicks in, the perpetual party reward can kick in, right? So all of that can then become available. And you want your host to have a goal. And being able to kind of set them up for success in that way has really done a complete 180 with my business when it comes to parties. Because again, it helps them kind of focus on, it's hard to focus when you don't really have anything to focus on. So when you just say, oh, you're doing a party for me, this is gonna be great, you're gonna earn host rewards, right? That's very vague. So in order to kind of give them something to visualize, helping them to create a wish list of, maybe there's a warmer that they've had their eye on and they're like, oh man, I love that warmer, but that $50 price point, that's just too much for me. Well, you know what? If you host a party and we get a minimum of $200 in orders, then you can get that for half price, or you may end up being able to get that for free. So why not try a party? Let's try a party. We can just do it online, right? That's kind of how you work with them. And you give them that incentive. So creating that wish list is kind of giving that incentive, right? Giving them that goal to shoot for. And that really helps a lot. So getting them started, keeping them invested, giving them a goal, and really just being transparent with what's going to happen. So again, depending on how your party looks. And again, like I said, I don't want to get too specific because there's millions of ways to do these online parties. But creating an event on Facebook, creating that event, you can literally do it, again, 101 different ways, right? So you could go on and do that event and do it more in a live format, just like I'm doing right now, right? This is an event that I created. I'm going live within the event. So you could do the same kind of concept, right? And be like, oh, guys, and, you know, show the products just like you were, again, if they were in your home, you were in their home, if you're doing a sip and sniff, whatever, you know, so you can go live. That's one way of doing it. Other ways of doing it, of course, are just posting pictures with descriptions and telling them about things. The group, the online virtual parties group on Facebook, there will give you a ton of different ideas when it comes to, you know, some people like to create albums, so it's easier for people to, you know, just kind of look at a picture of 4 different warmers and say, do you want 1, 2, 3, or 4? And, you know, someone will be like, all they have to do is comment 4, right? And so it makes it a lot easier for people shopping. That's usually how I do mine, but we can go into that more in depth in a different training. But I encourage you guys to go into that group and just really explore it. Look and click around and see what others are doing, and you're going to get ideas. Trust me, you're going to get ideas because there's millions of them that live there. So again, incorporating just the elements of getting that host involved and keeping them involved. So what I like to do, again, incorporating the concept of still the party vibe, right? Regardless of how I'm doing it. The very first thing that I do, and it doesn't have to be this, okay? It can be anything. I like to do postcards as often as I can, simply because the postcards are the most cost-effective way to get things out the door and in the mail, right? 35 cents for a postcard stamp at the post office, okay? Go up there and get a sheet of them or whatever, and just keep them on hand. Obviously, these thanks are the ones that I got out of the Scentsy Success Store, but again, it doesn't have to be there. It can be any postcard that you so choose, or a note, or an invitation, or whatever you want to use, right? So what I do is when somebody says yes to hosting a party, the very first thing I do, and in fact, I actually have a small, I don't do too much in advance, but I have a small handful that are ready to go. So for example, this one here, and I'll read it and then show it to you. So I've already got a stamp on it. I always put a rub and sniff sticker on everything that leaves my hands in my house. But it just says, thank you for hosting a Scentsy party with me. Your host pack is on its way, Jacqui. So that's what I've written there. And because this is a postcard, so then all I have to do is just fill in the host, their name and their mailing address, right? And I immediately put this in the mail. Well, I put it in the mailbox for the mailman for outgoing mail, unless I'm going to the post office, right? And that immediately goes out, right? Boom. If somebody right now were to message me and be like, I want to do an online party, I get their address if I don't already have it, and boom, this is going out the door, ready to go. Then what I do, again, in being able to get my host's attention, right? It all comes down to that host coaching. That's so integral in any party that you are having. So just like I would do if it was a home party, just like I would do if it was somebody local, like my next door neighbor is going to have a party for me. Awesome. I'm going to bring you what I call a host pack over, okay? And again, these are things that I have on hand. So it doesn't have to be verbatim. This is just an idea, okay? So what I do is I just use, these are the catalog mailing sacks, I think, from Scentsy Success. But again, any bag will work, okay? What comes in here? So what I like to put in here, and this is kind of how all of mine look. So they're getting a small handful, there's like 4 or 5, there's 5, of the scent of the month with a felt sample, okay? You guys know I do the felt samples in the summertime. So those are ready. So those are in there because I want them to pass them out. I want the host to feel them and pass them out. Or smell them, not feel them. Well, I mean, they can feel them, but that would be awkward. And you guys know we've talked about these previously, right? These are my join and host packets. Just like I keep these in my purse and hand them out, these go into every party or host packet that leaves my home. Okay, it's just standard issue. Okay. Then remember, Jacqui likes to be very cost effective when it comes to business supplies because that's out of my pocket. And it would be great if I could order like 6 bundles of catalogs, but that would get very expensive, right? So the majority of what I use for parties are product lists or showcase brochures. Simply because it's easier on your budget and not so much out of pocket. So what I do is I put in some product lists, folded or in there, and then the host always gets 1 catalog. And yep, okay, I was like, whoop, I should, because I try and make, I always try and keep at least 2 to 3 of these made up and ready, so they're ready to go, okay? So I don't have to sit here and take time to create them. We're all busy. We all have lives, right? But a join or host brochure is always thrown in there. And of course, your information goes on everything, right? So that is a catalog that is mainly for my host, okay? If she wants to share it with her friends, that's perfectly fine. But I want my host to have a physical catalog. And then part of the host coaching is letting, hey, if somebody asks, you can give them one of those. That's, it has everything that's in the catalog. You'll see it. I usually throw in samples. Right now I'm on a kick of the laundry samples because those came out in Scentsy Success, so I throw in samples of those. I usually will do either a scent circle, a car bar, or a travel tin. Again, whatever you've got on hand. Whatever you have on hand. I just happen to have some extra travel tins, and I was like, okay, let me use those this time. Mix it up a little bit, right? And I like to keep the ones on hand that I know are I don't want to say good ones because they're all good, right? But more tried and true favorite scents because those are just more friendly to everybody's nose, right? Luna is a scent that pretty much everybody's gonna like. And then in every single host pack comes a bar of the scent of the month. Remember, I subscribe to the scent and or warmer of the month every single month, so I have these bars on hand. The whole point of me getting the scent and warmer of the month kit is to be able to have the bars on hand so I can use them. I used a total of 2 or 3 to make up all my felt samples for the month, but then the rest of them I utilize for either my VIP customers or they go into these host packs, and so that's like a host gift. Same thing if I was doing a long distance pouch party and I mailed it to them, or again, my neighbor, right? Same thing. The whole point is that's the special this month, right? I want them to smell it. I want them to use it. And again, it's their thank you. Just like we talked about at the very beginning with my Bring Back My Bar. This is a thank you. So regardless if the party bombs or not, still, thank you for giving this a shot and hosting a party with me. It didn't go as great as we expected, but that's okay. If you feel like it, or if you're ready again, we can try again and we can do it differently. If you feel that, that would work, or a better month maybe, or next month we're doing Bring Back My Bar. Maybe that would have more success for you. I'd be more than happy to do another party and see what happens. And guys, again, not every single party is going to be a home run for you. Not every single party is going to be a shutout. So, even though you may have a party that maybe only ends up with 1 or 2 orders and the host doesn't make it to that minimum, well, no worries. By all means, keep the bar, keep the travel tent, all that I gave you, that, thank you. That's just my way of saying thank you, right? And then, that's still giving you at least 1 or 2 contacts of people who ordered that you didn't have before. So look at the bright side of it and the fact that you're still adding to your customer base, your contact base. And those are people who may end up hosting their own party or may end up being so excited that they're like, I want to join your team, okay? So you have to really take the good with the bad and you have to be able to look at it as a whole, okay? Maybe the party bombed, but you know what? Hey, I still got 2 orders out of it. That's PRV, even if it's minimal, right? It doesn't matter. PRV to me is PRV to me. And it's still people that I'm getting in contact with, and even maybe, especially when it's online, right? They're inviting their friends. That's part of my house coaching is telling them, I'm going to set up this event. Please invite your friends, share the link. And those are people that you're going to want to try and begin building those relationships with. And it might sound a little funky, and I don't want to make it sound weird, but when those people are joining the event, that is a really great opportunity for you as the consultant to look for a way to build a relationship. So click on their name, right? You don't have to be friends with them to see like their public profile, but maybe you click on their name and you see their public profile, and you can tell, maybe they've got a picture of them and their dog, right? Oh, well, they must love pets, right? So maybe you take that little nugget of information, and when you're doing your online party, however you do it, whether it's live or posting pictures or what have you, right? You're gonna talk about pets, because at least one person is a dog person or a cat person or a pet person, right? So you just want to be able to kind of pepper in those little details. Or they've got kids, so you definitely want to talk about the Toy Story buddies that just came out, right? Because if they've got little kids, you're like, OMG, hello, that's like the biggest movie out right now. I'm pretty sure it is, at least until Lion King comes out. So that's really my point, is to be able to build those relationships. We are in the relationship building business. Don't forget that. No matter what it comes down to, we are all about building relationships. Whether that's through our hosts, whether that's through our customers, whether that's through people who don't even become a customer right now, right? Just because they say no now doesn't mean no forever, okay? They just may be like, hey, it's not in my budget this month. Or we've got that family vacation coming up and I can't afford to buy anything, but hey, do you want to still stay on my mailing list? I'll add you to my mailing list, and once a month you can get my newsletter that Scentsy sends out for me, right? Remember, your resources, okay? Scentsy's sending that out. All you have to do is go into your contacts tab of your workstation and put in their name and their email address, and they will begin getting your newsletter without you having to do anything. Comes out the second Wednesday of every month, okay? So that's a great way to keep those people who maybe can't buy or just aren't interested right now or just don't see something that's catching their eye. That's okay, because you know what? Fall is coming. Fall is coming. And people like to decorate for the holidays. I know I do. I'm a huge fall and winter person. I love it. It is truly my favorite time of year. And so when it comes around to that time of year, I am all about it, right? So that there are other people just like that, okay? I'm not a unicorn. I'm not the only one like that. Trust me. But my point being is, just because they're not buying from you now doesn't mean that they won't buy when that new catalog drops. And guys, remember too, you also want to be, again, when you're talking to hosts, customers, people on your online parties, on your long distance parties and your in-person parties, however you're partying, remind them, you guys, we've got big things coming, and Scentsy is always coming out with something new, right? Every single month, this is a fact, every single month, Scentsy gives us a brand new warmer, a brand new scent. Boom, done. Now, every single month, they usually throw something fun our way. We can't always guarantee that something like that will come, but something usually does, right? We had our Buzz and Woody buddies drop, and their scent packs and their bars, right? So those dropped. We had our summer collection drop, right? Next month, we've got Bring Back My Bar happening. So maybe they used to buy Scentsy years ago. They might really be excited to know that their favorite scent, spiced grapefruit, is back. But you know my point, right? Again, there's a nose for every scent. Just because it's not your nose that likes it does not mean that there's not another nose out there that loves it and that must have it. So just things to keep in mind is to keep planting those seeds. I know I posted it, I think on Monday or Sunday, planting the seeds. Because when you plant a seed today, just like you were if you were out in the garden, if you go outside today and plant the seed, the flower doesn't grow tomorrow, right? Or the fruit doesn't grow. But it's starting to grow. And that seed, if you keep watering it, if you keep building that relationship, if you keep going back to it, if you get them involved with your newsletter or your email system or your mailing system or your sample club, whatever it is that you do for your business, because remember, that's your business and what works for you, you are building that relationship and you're growing that seed, and eventually that plant is going to blossom, whether that blossoms into your next VIP customer, whether that blossoms into your next rock star that joins your team, whether that blossoms into somebody who becomes a host and host every single fall and winter because they are all about the holiday stuff, right? Tons of stuff can happen when you plant the seeds and when you build those relationships. So keep that in mind however you're partying. So again, this is, and I just add a little bit of confetti and stuff in the bottom to, it's a party, right? It's a party. So this is literally my host pack. So again, remember, step one, the first thing I do is I get that postcard out the mail. Here, your host pack's on its way. Thank you so much for hosting for me. It hasn't even started yet, but I'm thanking them, right? I am starting it out on the right foot with the right attitude, right? I'm excited. I'm happy. I'm very honored that they want to host a party with me. That's fantastic. Again, regardless if it flops or if it soars. I don't care which one it does. I mean, obviously we all love it when it soars, right? But at the end of the day, what is happening? You are meeting new contacts, you are creating relationships, and you may end up finding, like I said, you may end up finding friends. I've met some lifelong friends through Scentsy, not only that are consultants, but I've also met people over the years that are just all about, just being a good person, and I love being able to connect with those people. And again, just because they aren't buying from me now doesn't mean that eventually they won't at some point. So step one is that postcard to say thank you, the initial thank you, right? So again, like our steps for follow-up, doesn't matter how you do it, you just apply it to the different things, right? The next thing is I mail this packet out, and you guys know me, I use the If It Fits It Ships envelopes. I've got one right here. Oh, got one right here. These are what I use. You guys know if you get Happy Mail from me, this is what it comes in if it's bigger than a regular envelope. And so this just goes in there and I send it out for that flat rate. That's how I get that stuff out. You might be able to find cheaper ways to get stuff out like that in the mail, but that's just what I do. So that's the way to keep that host involved, get them excited. When talking about the host coaching, that again is like a whole nother topic, but you really just want to, again, setting that tone, right? You are setting the tone for how you want the party to go, keeping them involved and keeping them engaged. Because the more that you can keep them engaged, online parties is number one in this, simply because, right, social media is fickle, okay? Just because somebody joins an event on Facebook doesn't mean that they're going to come to the event when you go live, or the week that you have the party set up for, that you say, okay, it's going to run from the 1st of July until the 15th of July, right? Whatever or however it is that you're working that party. It doesn't mean they're going to show up. So what your job is as the consultant in kind of working that party is to make sure the more that your host is involved and the more that you can keep your host engaged and excited, the more they're going to be excited to be telling their friends, right? Oh my gosh, I got my host packet in the mail today from my Scentsy consultant for my party that we're doing on Facebook, you guys. I can't wait, right? Get them excited and then encourage them to share that excitement. Hey, when you get your host pack, tag me on Facebook or on Instagram, right? That is, you guys know me, I love the ability to have free word of mouth marketing. It's free. It's free. That is the best way to be able to get that marketing out there. And just them posting a picture of your host pack, hello, even if it's just a bar and a catalog, hello, that's still people seeing that, their friends seeing that, your friends seeing that, right? More eyes are looking at it. So that's the whole point of kind of like that brag and tag feature. Whether it's the host packet, whether it's when they get their order, whether it's, anything like that really. So that's a really great way to be able to kind of start the ball rolling. Like I said, I encourage you guys to go to the online virtual parties group on Facebook. Check it out. If you aren't already in that group, check it out. And start thinking of ways that, again, you can form it around you, your verbiage, how you do things, how your business runs, and really conform it to you, because when you are able to personalize your business even more, then you're going to find that, again, people are going to be more attracted to it. Because when you're sharing the same flyer that 500 other consultants have just shared today, what happens? Who posted that? That's what happens. So try and find those ways that you can individualize yourself. You can stand out from the crowd, right? You can still do, you know, just about anything by being able to kind of find your voice and standing out in that way, whether that's going live for a 5-minute segment about what just came out today, or, you know, how excited you are because you're hosting your very first online Facebook party. You know, anything like that that will kind of help you step out and stand out among all the other consultants. So, all right, guys, I hope this has given you some tips and some insight, and hopefully kind of maybe change the script a little bit of how you think online parties go, or how they work. Like, they can only be done online, right? No, incorporate things that you would normally do, you know, and again, put your own spin on it. This is just my way of doing it, so take that idea and run and see how you can make it better, step it up a notch, or, you know, conform it more to is something that you would normally do. Okay? All right, guys. Well, next week, oh my gosh, it's a whole new month. It is a whole new month. So get ready in the group. We, of course, will be continuing our weekly Tuesday team trainings live here on the team page. So make sure that you mark that in your calendar, on your planner, however it is that you mark things. And if you can't attend with us live, that's okay. You just watch the replay. It's here for you. That's the whole point. And I will be setting up the agenda and getting that out, so you guys will be able to know what topics we're going to be covering in July. So new topics coming. It's a brand new month. I love it. I love the beginning of a month. Brand new goals, brand new things to talk about, brand new things to learn about, and expand our business. All right, guys, have a great rest of your afternoon, and I will talk to you all soon. Bye.